At 66, Simon Cowell remains one of entertainment's most recognizable figures, but his story reaches far beyond the sharp comments and stern expressions that made him famous. For decades, audiences saw a confident judge who seemed almost impossible to shake, a man who could change a contestant's future with a single opinion. Yet behind that powerful image was someone shaped by rejection, ambition, pressure, family, aging, and difficult personal experiences. His career brought extraordinary success, but it also created an identity that was difficult to escape. As time passed, the man behind the television persona became more visible, revealing a complicated journey about achievement, vulnerability, change, and the human cost of living under constant public attention. The making of a television icon. Before becoming one of television's most recognizable judges, Simon Cowell experienced the uncertainty and setbacks that are common in the entertainment industry. His early career taught him how quickly success could disappear, and how difficult it was to create something audiences would remember. Those experiences shaped his practical understanding of music, performers, publicity, and the business behind entertainment. Rather than assuming fame was guaranteed, he learned that artists needed determination, individuality, and the ability to withstand rejection. When he eventually became associated with major talent programs, his direct style immediately distinguished him. He was willing to say what others might avoid saying, and that honesty created tension that audiences found compelling. His calm expressions and carefully timed reactions became part of his identity. He was no longer simply an industry professional. He had become a television character whose judgment could define an entire moment. The burden of being the harsh judge. Simon's reputation for blunt criticism became one of his greatest professional strengths, but it also became a limitation. Viewers came to expect him to be severe, decisive, and difficult to impress. Contestants often entered the room already anticipating his reaction, while audiences waited for his approval or disapproval. His presence created suspense because nobody knew exactly what he would say. That ability helped make talent television emotionally engaging, but it also blurred the difference between Simon the person and Simon the television persona. The public began to associate him almost entirely with rejection, sarcasm, and authority. Although his criticism could sometimes be unnecessarily harsh, his judgment also reflected a genuine understanding of performance and audience appeal. He could recognize qualities that others overlooked and help create opportunities for performers who might otherwise have remained unknown. His legacy therefore contains an important contradiction. The same judgment that could hurt someone's confidence could also open a door that changed a person's life. Fame and the loss of privacy. As Simon's career expanded, success brought wealth, influence, recognition, and enormous professional power, but it also removed much of the privacy that ordinary people take for granted. His appearance, relationships, opinions, lifestyle, and personal choices became subjects of public discussion. The irony was especially striking because Simon had built his reputation by judging others, only to discover that the public could judge him with equal intensity. Every expression could be interpreted, every change could become a topic of conversation, and every public appearance could generate speculation. Fame made it difficult for him to make ordinary mistakes without consequences. The person behind the television image became secondary to the character audiences believed they knew. Over time, this created a complicated form of isolation. Simon was surrounded by colleagues, contestants, viewers, and business relationships, yet very few people could see the private individual beneath the public identity. His experience demonstrates how celebrity can make someone highly visible while simultaneously making genuine understanding more difficult. Fatherhood and a softer side. One of the most meaningful changes in Simon's life came through fatherhood. After spending decades focused on entertainment, business, achievement, and professional influence, becoming a parent introduced a different emotional priority. His son did not see him as a famous judge or powerful entertainment figure, but simply as a father. That perspective offered Simon an identity separate from his career. Over time, audiences began noticing moments when he appeared warmer, more emotional, and more openly affected by other people's experiences. His reactions to contestants could show genuine compassion rather than simply professional judgment. Some people interpreted this change as Simon becoming softer, but it can also be understood as personal growth. The qualities that make someone successful in a competitive industry are not necessarily the qualities needed for family life. Fatherhood appeared to encourage greater patience, tenderness, and emotional openness. It also challenged the idea that strength requires constant hardness, suggesting that vulnerability can become another form of strength when life challenged his sense of control. For much of his public career, Simon appeared completely in control. He sat calmly while others became nervous, delivered judgments without hesitation, and seemed comfortable making difficult decisions. A serious accident and the resulting recovery disrupted that image. Physical vulnerability confronted him with something professional success could not solve through money, influence, or determination. Recovery required patience, adjustment, and acceptance of limitations. For someone accustomed to controlling situations and making decisions, that experience represented a different kind of challenge. It reminded him that no amount of fame can make a person physically invulnerable. Pain also has a way of changing priorities. When health becomes uncertain, professional concerns can suddenly appear less important than family, time, and well-being. Simon's experience therefore became more than a physical setback. It represented a moment of perspective. The powerful judge who had spent years evaluating others was forced to confront a situation where there was no performance to perfect and no audience to impress. The changing meaning of success. Simon achieved an extraordinary level of professional success, helping shape modern talent television and becoming associated with performers and programs that reached audiences around the world. Yet success did not necessarily bring the peace that people might imagine. Maintaining a major entertainment career requires constant pressure to remain relevant, discover new talent, satisfy audiences, and adapt to changing cultural expectations. The industry rewards people who stand out but can quickly move on from those who no longer capture attention. Simon therefore faced the continuing challenge of remaining influential while television itself evolved. The emergence of social media also changed the nature of public judgment. Instead of criticism arriving mainly through traditional media, millions of people could immediately comment on his appearance, behavior, and decisions. The man who had once represented authority inside the judging room became another person exposed to instant public opinion. His experience shows that professional achievement and personal fulfillment are not necessarily the same thing, particularly when an entire identity becomes connected to continued success, a persona that became a prison. Perhaps the deepest difficulty in Simon's story is the strength of the image he created. The public expected the same sharp-tongued judge year after year, even as the person himself naturally changed. Audiences remembered the black shirts, the expressions, the pauses, and the uncompromising comments, sometimes more clearly than the human being behind them. When Simon became more emotional or compassionate, some people questioned whether he had lost the qualities that originally made him famous. This illustrates how difficult it can be for public figures to evolve. Once an audience develops a fixed idea of someone, any transformation can be interpreted as weakness, inconsistency, or betrayal. Yet remaining unchanged would be equally unnatural. Simon's career required him to maintain a recognizable identity, but aging, family, health, and experience inevitably reshaped him. The persona that created his success eventually became something he had to move beyond. His later years suggest that personal growth sometimes requires accepting that the version of yourself the public prefers may no longer be the person you are. A more human legacy. At 66, Simon Cowell's most interesting chapter may no longer be about proving how powerful he can be. His career has already established his influence, his business ability, and his understanding of entertainment. The more significant question is what remains when the need to dominate the room becomes less important. Fatherhood, aging, health challenges, changing television culture, and decades of public scrutiny appear to have brought greater reflection into his life. His story is not one of total defeat, nor is it simply a triumph. It is a complicated account of someone who achieved enormous public success while carrying pressures that were not always visible. The tragedy lies less in failure than in the difficulty of being understood beyond a famous persona. Simon spent years asking contestants to reveal themselves under pressure, while much of his own private life remained hidden behind confidence and control. His later journey reminds us that even people who appear powerful can experience fear, loneliness, uncertainty, and change. Ultimately, his legacy is not only about the dreams he judged, but about the human being who learned that success, recognition, and peace are very different things.